I think we are going to call this episode The Senate is a Dumpster Fire, Part 2. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse from yesterday, it does. It's unbelievable. We are going to talk about what happened to Senator Christy Zitto today. I spoke with her today after she was basically railroaded on the Senate floor. Dustin has clips of that. We're going to talk about some of the fallout from that situation. And then we're going to talk about the efforts of a fringe minority, I suppose we'd call them, trying to cancel the Idaho Freedom Foundation, which is not going to happen, especially if Dustin Hurst has anything to say about it. It's all coming up on Steph Lucas Live. We're back.
Oh man.
Good evening. Well,
Dustin. Oh man. It's this show's gonna be lit. If you're just joining us, goodness, call your friends, call your people. It's going to be lit tonight.
Because my show on KID, I feel, was quite lit today. I think we're just going to carry that over into Steph Lucas Live this evening. Dustin, I saw your rant on the Senate last night. I thought, go Dustin! Dustin called me today and said, Steph Lucas.
Goodness.
Go look at this clip of what happened with Christy Zitto. I'm floored. I was at a loss for words for about 5 seconds because
that's it.
At a loss for 5 seconds. That's it. I'm doing
that. I guess that is an accomplishment.
He made Dustin to drink Monster. Look at this. He's a Kyle.
I can't. I wish it was alcohol. I really do. I don't even know how to drink alcohol. But
you said today's show was going to be lit. I didn't know it was going to be like alcoholically lit.
You know.
Dustin.
Oh man. Steph, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're reaching new lows here.
We're going to work it out. You're going to feel a lot better when this is done. All right?
Am I? No. Because I feel like after today, nobody's going to feel good after what we have to talk about.
Lots of people are going to feel good about this, and there's going to be a call to action, at least on my part. So let's talk a little bit about the Idaho Senate and your rant last night. You said it was a dumpster fire. It's true.
Okay. Now, what did I tell you? Yeah. What did I tell you, YouTube and Facebook viewers? I told you that the Senate was a dumpster fire, and they went and proved it again in dramatic fashion, might I add.
Right, dramatic.
Who watched the rant last night? Did you actually watch the whole thing? Because I think I went on for 40 minutes. I intended to talk for 5, and I went on for 40.
In the car, listening to it, running errands, and I was like, "Yeah, Dustin." Listening to it while I was driving, so I listened to the whole thing. Right?
You may need to get a life. Just a thought.
I have no life except for politics. I'm sorry. You one day you saw on my bookshelf. You said, "Steph, I came over to drop this off. You've got Robert's Rules of Orders on your bookshelf." I'm like, "Yeah." You say you are such a nerd, but you're my kind of nerd, and that's the kind of life we have. I mean, what else do we have besides the Idaho legislature?
Brown book, like Daring Greatly or something like that, or I don't know, like.
Well,
turn my mic gain down. I'm sorry,
books,
Tony.
Right. So, how's your mic doing, Dustin?
I don't know.
How are we doing? All right. Well, everybody turn your computers up. This is Boise and East Idaho together.
Apparently,
rolling with the punches. There we go.
Technology's not my thing.
All right.
Well, I don't care. Thanks, Tony. Anyway, hopefully that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so Steph, do you want to give us a preview on what or kind of the backstory on what happened?
Yes.
Today?
I have it all written down. I have it on my notes, just in case you see me reading notes. There's a lot to talk about. I had to have some notes. So, yesterday, Senator Christy Zitto made a motion, and Dustin can come in with the finer points here, the ins and outs, but Senator Christy Zitto made a motion to add grocery tax repeal onto the income tax bill. Now, if you will remember, Dustin and I have been talking about this income tax bill. As Representative Tammy Nichols called it, breadcrumbs, and rightly so. That's what we're all calling it from now on. It's not exactly this big historic tax cut. We could do way better. But the point is, it was in front of the Senate. This was their big rah-rah Senate moment. And Christy Zitto decided that she was going to try to make an amendment to repeal the grocery tax onto this income tax bill. Why would she do this? Because I was there on January 10th at the State House when she said, "I am a conservative lawmaker. My goal is to repeal the grocery tax." It's not like the Senate was without warning. She was doing what she could, and that was to add this amendment onto the income tax bill. So, what happens? My cats are fighting, first of all, if you can hear that. Second, sorry, it's live. Second, the Democrats all voted with Kristi Zitto. Okay? Now, if you've been looking at Twitter, if you've been following the IFF at all, if you've been following the Idaho Democrats at all, the Idaho Democrats have been tweeting out, "It is time for grocery tax repeal." Shocker, right? But sometimes these things happen. We'll get to that later. So back to Kristi Zitto, all right? The point is, she knew those senators weren't going to vote for her amendment. She knew she was outnumbered. That's my synopsis. What she was trying to do is what she said she would do weeks ago. Try to get the grocery tax repealed. Why? Because it's what her constituents, and I spoke to her today, she represents about 50,000 of them, asked her to do. She was not there for her own agenda, unlike most senators. She was not there for her own ego. She was there to do what an elected representative was supposed to do and represent the concerns of her constituents. So that's why she tried to add that amendment on.
Right.
What happens? All the Democrats vote with her. None of your Republican senators vote for her. Does it end there? No.
Of course it doesn't. Because things can't be that easy.
No,
They just
things aren't
can't
that
be that
easy.
easy.
Yeah. How dare you, as a senator, try to go against the grain and actually represent what your constituents want? So what happens is, there's a letter. I have a copy of it here. And it was a, "Oh, poor Senate, wah wah, sad trumpet music." What it has here is Senator Mark Harris. Oh, there's my cat. Idaho Senate Majority Caucus Leader. And now I can't take this seriously. I'm very upset. The cat has joined us. He says, "Senator Mark Harris." Who is that? So, Senator Mark Harris, Senate Majority Leader, writes a press release yesterday. Here's what he says. Senate Democrats he tries to say in this letter that Senator Kristi Zitto tried to stop the income tax bill from passing. That is not what happened. She tried to add an amendment to represent her constituents.
And I'll say that we're going to play. I'm uploading the clip right now of yesterday. We played it yesterday, but I want to play it again because I think more people need to see what Kristi actually said. In fact, is it okay if we play that right now?
Yeah, let's play it now so my cat can get out of here.
Yeah,
Ruin
you
the
can.
show.
You got 57 seconds while this clip plays.
All right.
So again, here's what happened. This was yesterday on the Senate floor. Kristi was very specific about her request. Pay attention. Here we go.
Senator Zito, excuse me, but would you turn your microphone on?
You can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I thought maybe I was loud enough.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Madam President. I'll start over. My motion to move House Bill 436 to the 14th order is only to add grocery tax repeal. It's only to remove the tax on food. This amendment is in response to the desires of the citizens of the state of Idaho. The gentleman on the second floor has expressed support for the repeal of the tax on food, the grocery tax. In my travels, the removing of this aggressive tax on food, the tax on groceries, is the most consistent topic of discussion. Our families deserve to have the relief that this amendment will bring, especially during a time of increasing inflation, which hits the pocketbook of our poorest families the hardest. Families working to feed their families, pay their bills, their taxes, and be good citizens deserve our help. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. That was yesterday. Now, if I heard her correctly, Steph,
Yes.
she said, "I want to join the Democrats to destroy this bill so nobody gets tax relief." That's what she said, right? That's what she said. That's what I heard.
To this press release, that's what she said. We have the receipts.
Okay, read the press release.
Okay. Yeah. Pay close attention to the wording. Here's what Mark Harris explained it as, which is very misleading if I'm being polite. Here's what Mark Harris had to say. Senate Democrats, in cooperation with Senator Kristi Zitto, attempted to derail passage of the income tax cut, hoping to change the bill. Senate Democrats argued that instead of providing income tax cuts, the state should spend more money on other government programs. Whoa. No. This is not what happened. He says,
There's more. Keep going. Keep going.
yeah.
That's
Oh, okay. More of this. All right. H 436 reduces income taxes for all Idahoans. Opponents of H 436 debated against income tax reduction and instead chose to focus on repealing sales tax on some groceries. Some groceries. Idaho Senate Republicans support grocery sales tax relief and current income tax credits offset grocery sales tax for all Idahoans. News to me. Senate Republicans will be advancing legislation this session to provide more grocery tax credit relief. So, let's talk about this. Let's back up to where he says Senate Democrats attempted to, in cooperation with Senator Christy Zito, attempted to derail passage of the income tax cut, hoping to change the bill. Adding an amendment is not changing the bill. Okay? That's adding an amendment.
Well, let's be clear. It is changing the bill, but it's like you take your I was thinking about some sort of metaphor that we could use for this. It's like you take a burger at Wendy's. My son loves to go to Wendy's. I don't know why. He's addicted
Wendy's
to
is
Wendy's.
good times.
It is good. Their fries are fantastic.
I know.
And frosty, of course. You take your burger up to the front at Wendy's and you add mustard to it. Have you destroyed your burger?
No.
No, you've made it glorious and better because you've added mustard. That's what Christy Zito was trying to do. She was trying to add mustard to a okay tax bill. She was trying to make it great.
She was trying to make it great. And she was doing what she set out to do. January 10th, she said, I will try to repeal the grocery taxes.
Yeah.
That's what she was trying to do, right? She
Exactly.
had to try.
And I would point out, there was a second, you had another thought. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're saying she hoped to change the bill. Not how it sounds. Second.
Yeah, she did hope to change the, okay, sorry.
Right. Senate Democrats argued that instead of providing income tax cuts, the state should spend more money on other government programs. So you back up to one sentence. Senate Democrats, in cooperation with Senator Christy Zito, argued instead of providing income tax cuts. You see, it's the language of the letter. They're pointing fingers at her and implying that Senator Christy Zito argued that the state should spend more money on other government programs. That's a blatant smear. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there's that. I mean, I did spend a lot of time writing in graduate school. I can kind of pick out where they're really just wording this so badly.
I didn't spend much time writing in school, and I'm still smart enough to figure this out.
Right. So
there are a couple. I want to go back to this because I do this every day for my job. I watch these debates. I watch people, and I see the spin that happens. That not only are they lying about Christy and what she did, I just realized there's another lie in there. There's another lie in there.
All right.
Okay. I wasn't going to do this. We're going to get back
memorized.
to the Christie thing for just a second. We're going to divert. Is that okay? You're the host.
Yeah.
This is your show. I don't want to
fine.
derail it.
You're drinking Monster, man. I'm okay with it. You know,
I am wired, if you couldn't tell. I am
loaded for beer.
I am wired. Okay. So I really hate to do this to our watchers, our people that are in the chat section. I apologize. We're going to play a clip of Senator Jim Guthrie. And I'm so sorry. It's not pretty. He's not articulate. But yesterday, Senator Jim Guthrie basically railed on the bill saying, we're giving too much in tax relief.
Okay.
A sitting Republican senator said, we're giving too much in tax relief. Take a look at this. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh, it's still processing. Whoops.
Well, it's okay.
Show prep is really important.
Well,
okay.
It's neither here nor there. We could talk while it's loading here. So yes, we have Guthrie, and he is saying that essentially he's not for tax cuts. All right. Is that the language of a Republican? I've read the Republican platform. Something in there about, hey, we don't like taxes. Try to keep taxes under control. But what's Guthrie saying here?
Well, and it's so it'll take just a second. It's processing now. So again, the language that they used in the Senate press release was the Democrats were trying to spend more on programs, on this and that. And that's true, by the way. Okay. The Democrats don't want to give tax relief in the form of income, income tax cuts. They don't. They would rather redistribute the wealth, put it into programs, put it into welfare and handouts. That is absolutely true. That's not what Christy Zitto wants, by the
But
way.
they voted with Christy Zitto to put on an amendment for
Mhm.
grocery tax repeal because the Democrats have been saying it's time for this. People are suffering, which again, strange turn of events, but
Hey,
it happens.
You know what? The Idaho Freedom Foundation, everyone sees us as this right-wing outlet.
Sure.
We agree with Democrats from time to time. And
Mhm.
it's okay, by the way. It's okay to agree with Democrats occasionally.
Right.
We don't generally agree with establishment Republicans very much, but you've got this weird thing where they're right on like mandatory minimums and some of the criminal justice stuff. They're right on the grocery tax. They're right on a few things.
Right.
And I have no problem admitting that. So let's take a look. The clip is ready. Let's hear Jim Guthrie and what he actually says as a sitting Republican senator. Here we go.
One thing I've learned about the legislative process is you don't always get everything you want in a bill, and sometimes you see things you'd rather not see in a bill. So that's a legislative process. And on bills with big, broad sweeping changes, that is often the case. So you have to decide, is there enough good in there to get your vote to the finish line? And such is the case for me on 436. To illustrate a point, I want you to imagine, senators, that you're really hungry. You're not just ordinary hungry, you're really hungry, and you've decided to do something you've never done before. You're going to go to a 5-star restaurant that's incredibly expensive, and you're going to spend more than you've ever spent on dinner. But once inside, you have a decision to make, because in this restaurant, you don't get to pick what will be served, and you must pay up front. You have folks telling you it's good, but it still requires a leap of faith. So you got two choices: take a chance on the unknown meal will be worth the price, or leave and wonder if you were right to avoid an unknown or if you missed an opportunity. So with 436, the most expensive tax cut in the history of Idaho, justified by the largest budget surplus we've ever known. And I'll tell you up front, with due respect and with great respect to those who have worked so hard on it, I probably would not have spent this much money this way.
He goes on to say that he would rather spend it on roads and bridges and other programs, water, stuff like that. Now, infrastructure, right? Now, I want to be clear. The budget already invests huge sums of money in roads and bridges and infrastructure and other projects like that. So what you're saying is, and by the way, he uses the language of a statist. I think I said this last night. He uses the language of a statist where he says tax cuts cost money. We're spending money to give you your money back. It's not your money, Jim Guthrie. It's mine.
Well, I'm glad you were able to watch that. Did you have to watch that a couple times? Because it was kind of word salad, but it was very folksy. There was a lot of crookeder than a dog's hind leg, and I had corn on the cob through a picket fence, and you were madder than a wet hen when you want to pass legislation. I'm like, dude, I was born in West Virginia, like my whole family's from there, and I'm calling too much folksiness here. I'm automatically suspicious. Someone's laughing at me. See,
no, it's good.
He was saying, what? How many times did you have to watch that, Dustin, before you got the whole "I'm as happy as a pig in slop" out of the way?
Let's just say that I'm applying for hazard pay with IFF because I had to watch that so many times to figure out what the hell he was saying. But he goes on to say all of this. So and the point of this is the whole point is the Senate GOP majority sent out a press release blasting Christy Zitto and then blasting the Democrats for wanting to spend more money.
And they said Christy Zitto
was the Democrats.
That's what they said.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Right. Well, as long as you, so when you could pick that out, I see what you're saying. So we have this going on.
I'm stunned. It just.
But let's point the finger at Christy Zitto.
At Christy Zitto. Now
let's all just yesterday, guys. This is all just
yesterday.
We haven't even gotten to the Senate as a dumpster.
That's why I was on Facebook Live with some of you, by the way. Thank you for tuning into my rant last night. That was fun. I was on Facebook Live for 40 minutes last night burning about this because it's ridiculous how dishonest they are about Christy, who is very principled. You saw my rant. Yeah. Let's turn the page, Steph.
Day 2.
Let's go to day 2, February 2nd, 2022. A day that will live in infamy, I think. It was It was bad, man.
This was should we roll the clip? Should we give background on what happened, or just
Let's give background on what happened. So Christy, and I want to be clear, I was aware of this. I wasn't coordinating it or anything like that, but I was aware that it was going to happen. So the Senate has 16 orders of business where they do different things that legislatures and Senate bodies are required to do. The Senate is
okay?
required to do. In like the 10th order, they pass bills. In the 11th order, they do whatever. I don't even know.
It's a lot.
There's a ton there. So they get to the 15th order, and the 15th order is where you can make announcements. You
Mhm.
can say hi to guests in the gallery. You could probably sing a song if you wanted to. I don't know, it's never been done, but senators have a lot of discretion as to what they're going to do in that order of business.
Mhm.
So I knew that Christy was going to do what she was going to do because
Okay.
she told me. And I was just licking my chops because I knew what was going to happen.
What
And
was Christy trying to do?
she wanted to clear her name. She wanted to clear her name because the Senate GOP used their pedestal, used their email list to smear
Mhm.
her yesterday.
Right, and say
And
that she
so,
voted with Democrats and
yep,
tried to derail the bill.
yeah.
So
So
not
she
what
thought it
happened.
was only appropriate to use her pedestal, which is the 15th order, and her
Mhm.
privilege as a senator to clear her name.
Right.
Now, I think
With her colleagues, okay?
Yeah.
With her colleagues, people she works with.
we are going to do what Kelly Anthon, the Senate Majority Leader, was not brave enough to do today.
All right.
We're going to show you what happened in the Senate. We'll talk about it, and then we're going to let Christy finish her speech.
Okay.
I just gave away a spoiler, by the way.
Good. That's all right.
We're going to do what Kelly Anthon isn't brave enough to do.
Let's bring up who Kelly Anthon is in this, because not everyone.
Yes.
he may
So,
not be
sorry,
there.
sometimes I get inside baseball. So Kelly Anthon is the Senate Majority Leader in the Idaho Senate. He's very ambitious. He wants to be governor someday. He's the boy wonder that
Don't we all?
Yeah. I don't want to be governor.
It's just such a crowded race right now, but let's go on. Okay, so
he wants to be governor. He's boy wonder from Rupert. He's this
District 27. He's from Burley.
District 27 from Burley or Rupert or something like that.
He was on all of these boards.
He has decent hair. I mean, his hair is okay. That's really how I judge politicians and
I didn't notice that.
about their hair.
Mitt
Mitt Romney's my favorite when it comes to hair, but that was weird.
And little
anyway, that was weird. Let's not go there. Okay, so he runs the show. He runs the show in the Senate in more ways than one, as you will see. We're going to play the clip. It's going to go on for, I want to say, a couple minutes. And apparently, from what I hear, is that it cuts off, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to it in just a second. Here's the clip.
The senator has the floor.
On. Thank you, Madam President. You know, it is just quite an honor to be able to stand here and participate in a Senate tradition like this, to have the ability to address the Senate in the 15th order. You know, around 85 House and Senate chambers across the country begin every session with prayer. We begin each legislative day of our session with prayer, usually a prayer led by our chaplain, accompanied by a beautiful scripture message. In 2007, this chamber was led in prayer, or offered a Hindu prayer. As a body, we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I served in the body across the rotunda with the good woman from District 19. If you listen closely, when she says the Pledge of Allegiance, she accentuates the word God every time. We sit in our seats on this hallowed floor and we see the words, "In God we trust," above the chair of the Senate President, a constant reminder of the sacred trust that we hold for the citizens of this state. We take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Idaho. The first women were elected to the Idaho legislature in the year of 1896, following the states of Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah. The original record of the first session of the Council of the Idaho Territory, now called the Senate of Idaho, is dated December 7th, 1863. It adjourned February 4th, 1864. The body across the rotunda has always been called the House. The original record of the first legislative day of the state of Idaho is dated the 8th day of December, 1890, and it lives in the Office of Legislative Services. This session, we are receiving a copy of the Daily Journal for our review, which I appreciate. Since 1913, we've had a video recording of our floor sessions as a permanent and arguable record of what is said and what is done on the floor. As senators, we disseminate newsletters, press releases, and even videos that become a matter of public record. In my hand, I hold such a record today. It was sent out by the Senate Republican Caucus yesterday. Madam President, I take my Senate privilege to defend myself. If I may read from this document, Tax Relief Bill 436 passes the Idaho Senate by the Idaho Senate.
Madam President. Senator Zito, can you cite the source that you want to read from?
Yes, it's an Idaho Senate Majority Caucus press release.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent the Senate go at ease.
I object.
Madam President, I move the Senate adjourn until the hour of 11:15 tomorrow.
I object.
It has been moved and seconded that the Senate adjourn until 11:15 Thursday, February the 3rd. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. The motion has passed and the Senate is adjourned.
Okay.
So there's
Okay.
a lot to unpack, and it happened very quickly.
Mhm.
Senator Zito's speaking for a while. She's trying to make a point. And essentially, we get to the point where she says she would like to read from a document, be a letter written by Senator Mark Harris, who is Senate's Majority Caucus chair. Sorry. And what happens right then? Who stands up and says that they would like the Senate to go at ease?
So Senator Kelly Anthony, boy wonder from Rupert.
Burley, yeah, we're District
Burley.
27.
I mean, same district, right?
Right.
I think he was a
He's
city
been over there.
manager in Rupert or whatever, which is
He
why
has a lot of
so
things that
bloody.
were there. Yeah.
He is the favored son.
Mhm.
Anyway, so he stands up and he says, Madam President, I would like the Senate to go at ease. Now that means that they take a pause in business. They were going to huddle and pull Christie out in the hall and say, "You naughty girl, you can't do what you're going to do."
Right.
Wouldn't have
How
worked.
dare you not accept our shaming?
Yeah, you will be quiet, or else we will censure you or do something to you, slap you on the wrist, whatever.
Right.
So then, immediately, Christie objects to the unanimous consent request. So then he moves to adjourn the meeting, which means they close up shop. That's why the video cuts off. For those who asked about it, they ended the meeting. That's why it cut off. And it was immediately, oh my goodness, Abby Lee. She barked into that microphone. Like,
wow.
She was ready, and oh my goodness.
Boy.
So then when you move, you have to hold a vote, right? So they had a voice vote, and goodness gracious.
Clearly, the eyes have it.
The eyes have it. But I want to point out again, there are places where we can reach across the aisle and give people pats on the back. I don't want to sound like I'm a Democrat lover, because I'm not. I'm also not a Republican lover, by the way. But Grant Burgoyne, you hear one voice vote against adjournment. It's Grant Burgoyne from District 16 in Garden City.
Right.
Bless him, man. There's a guy with courage who is standing up. My guess is he disagrees with Christie Zito on everything except for maybe like 5 issues, right? But he's courageous enough to do the right thing at the right time.
Yes.
Bless that guy. Holy cow, I'm very impressed by him.
One person.
One guy. Not Steve Vick, not Regina Bayer, not Carl Crabtree. Grant Burgoyne, a Democrat from Garden City.
Lone voice of reason.
One.
Supporting Christie Zito's, what I would say is her right to speak as a colleague.
Now there is some question. We looked at Senate rules, and there is some question if Anthony was actually in order or making his motion appropriately or interrupting her appropriately, and I don't think he was. We're going to find out, and I don't think this is over. But I want to play very quickly. We have the clip. Shortly after the Senate floor hearing, Christie Zito went on Facebook Live, and she finished what she wanted to say. Yeah, what she wanted to say, what Kelly Anthony doesn't want you to hear. So let's go in honor of Kelly Anthon and his narrowness on debate. Let's go and hear Christy.
Well, hello again, my Idaho friends. We just walked off of the floor of the Senate. We were adjourned. Interesting to note, and the reason I'm doing this video right now is I would really like to finish what I started on the floor today. Senate leadership had put out a press release, like we talked yesterday, saying that I'll just read it. Senate Democrats, in cooperation with Senator Christy Zitto, attempted to derail passage of the income tax cut, hoping to change the bill. Excuse me. Senate Democrats argued instead that providing income tax cuts, the state should spend more money on other government programs. That was not my intent at all. And I was very, very, very clear in my debate that I wanted to add grocery tax repeal. The beauty of it is all of the floor debate, everything that happened on the floor, and you'll see how they shut me down today, when I had the floor on a point of personal privilege, they wouldn't even hear my defense. I was not even given the opportunity to defend myself and to defend what I said in the benefit of the citizens of this state who have asked for grocery tax repeal. So I'll just finish reading my statement to you. So yesterday I made it very clear to this body and to the citizens of Idaho that I wanted to add additional tax relief to the income tax bill. I wanted to add additional tax relief. It was not a hostile takeover, and it most definitely wasn't an effort to derail the bill. I want it cleared up, and I feel that this line in the Senate press release is a gross mischaracterization of my efforts. That was never my intention. I would never derail that sort of legislation. I voted for that legislation. So, this is just such an inaccuracy. And I called Mark Harris, who is, he is the Majority Caucus chair. I called him yesterday to talk to him about this, to let him know how I felt and that the video would prove that my intentions were not a hostile takeover at all. And he didn't call me back. So I felt like today on the floor of the Senate where the action took place would be the best place for me to exonerate myself, to make my case in a public forum like they made their case and disseminated it publicly as a press release.
Okay, I guess that one cuts off. I don't know
Well,
why.
I spoke with Senator Zitto today as well, and she
How'd that go?
essentially just wanted to defend herself. And I see a comment here that's saying, so what would have been the big deal if they let her say what she was going to say instead of adjourning? Well, what would have been the big deal, Dustin? I have my analysis of it, but
I want to hear your take. What do you
okay.
think?
Tell me if I'm wrong here. They won't. There's two things people need to know, and this is not confusing at all. 2 points. One, they won't let a senator, a colleague, speak in defense of herself. Two, they're trying to hide something. That's all most people need to know. What are they trying to hide? They do not want the actions of the disaster and the mess they caused on public record, on live public television for everyone to see. And that is why they do not want Senator Christy Zitto to speak. They don't want it to sully their precious Senate floor when they cause the mess.
They are absolute control freaks. And I will say, I don't want to brag because I actually wasn't here at IFF when this happened, but a couple years ago, the Senate and the House they showed the videos from the House and Senate floor, but they didn't record them, or they didn't store them for access for everybody to see. And so what Wayne and Mitch, our former comms guy, did, they actually recorded every floor session and posted it to our website. And so that you would have the actual discussion of what went down. And that's important because had we not had those stored somewhere, the Senate GOP would have gotten away with this.
Right.
They would have been okay saying, well, this is what happened. Zitto aligned with the Democrats and she's terrible and awful and don't vote for her. Because that's exactly what they're saying, by the way. Don't vote for her. And so it's super cool that we have the legislative records, the streamed floor votes and floor conversations. That's fantastic.
We have the receipts.
We do. We have all the receipts. So that's great, but they are hiding. It's amazing how unwilling they are to let anybody else have any ideas, any conversations that are not approved of. The legislative process is locked down beyond belief. And this just proves it again. You can't introduce a grocery tax repeal bill. You can't introduce certain vaccine mandate prevention bills. You can't speak freely. Now again, if she were on the floor like cussing like a sailor, that's one thing.
Sure.
She wasn't doing that. She wasn't doing that.
We saw that. She was far from cussing and swearing like a sailor. But I had Scott Becky tell me on my show a couple of weeks ago, well, this is the process. We have what our founders gave us. Really? Are we upholding what the founders gave us? Because I'll tell you something about our founding fathers, and I said this on my show today, and I'll say it again here. Here's the thing. Founding fathers material, these senators are not. Why? Because the founders of this country would have died for they may not have agreed with what you had to say, but they would have died for your right to say it. And we're not even asking anyone to die here. We're asking some senators to sit down and shut up for 5 minutes and let another senator defend herself and have her say. That's all we are asking. That is all that Senator Christy Zitto is asking. Is that so hard?
And keep in mind, she is simply doing, and you mentioned this earlier, she is simply doing what the people of her district have asked her to do.
That's it. She just wants to do her job.
Why is this so damn hard?
Yeah, I don't know why this is so hard. Let's talk about, I had this conversation with Christy Zitto today, and I'm going to bring it up again. The whole Joe Rogan thing came up. I said, here everyone is on social media. And yes, what's happening with Joe Rogan, and well, it's a private platform. They can do what they want, but everyone is talking about free speech. It is a huge part of the national conversation, right?
Yep.
Everyone's commenting on social media. Okay, but let's look at our own backyard here. If we can't call our own senators out on this, then do we have any right to criticize Neil Young for what he did, right? Let's look in our own backyard. It's happening right here. This happened on the Senate floor today. Let's take care of our own house first, and then we can all rush to the defense of Joe Rogan, and he deserves it. But our own senators deserve that as well.
It's unbelievable how unwilling we are to have discussions. I mean, even and we're so fearful of campaign sound bites and stuff like that. And that's what they were trying to protect themselves from. They're scared of hard votes. They're scared of doing things that the people want them to do. And it's amazing. These are the people that we've tasked to run our state, or at least our state government, and they can't handle a little bit of criticism. Most of them will never get hard questions from the press. In fact, if you look at it, and maybe because I blocked like 900 people on Twitter, I'm not seeing things, but most of the press aren't writing about this.
No, and that's another question I asked on my show today. Remember in November when the Senate shut everything down, wouldn't listen to vaccine mandate bills, what do we get from the press? It costs $46,000 to bring the legislature back together. Look at what these conservatives have done. So where's it going to be today? How much did it cost media to have the Senate shut down and not do the people's business? This happened around noon, right? They wasted an entire half a day. Where is the press going to start digging? Where's their little numbers about how much this costs taxpayers? Because I notice the press doesn't care in Idaho about how much things cost taxpayers unless it's, in their agenda, right? If it's gotten the blessing of the press. So where's the facts and figures on how much adjourning the Senate for a day cost? Where's that, media? We're not going to see it.
Of course you're not. And I would also say, hi, Spud. Hi. I just like to look at the comments, and my ADHD is all over the place. But I will say that the other thing that you need to consider, and we're always playing the what if game with the media, but this is true. Imagine if Kelly Anthony had done this to a Democrat woman.
Brought that up on my
Democrat woman.
show today too.
If
See,
he
you
had
and
done this,
we're
yeah.
on this. Okay.
Okay.
If this had happened to a Democrat, can you imagine the outcry from the media? Can you imagine? Senate majority silences Democrat. Do you know how much money from the Democrat Party would be pouring into Idaho right now because of the travesty of silencing
the
a Democrat?
pronoun people would be all over
They
it.
would be
right?
ringing this chamois for months.
We need a name for them. The pronoun.
Mafia.
Somebody in the comment section, help me come up with a name for the people who have their pronouns in their Twitter bios. I need a name for them. Work on that. But the pronoun people would be all over it. White cisgender male silences brave Democrat woman who's been oppressed her whole life by the patriarchy.
It's so hard to be a Democrat and a woman in Idaho.
Why do Idaho Republicans hate women?
Oh my gosh! You know how many blue girl red state bumper stickers they would have sold for their cause? Would have raised so much money. Real travesty it wasn't wasted on the Democrats. No, this happened to a sitting Republican senator.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. The pronoun pushers, the woke brigade. I like that one.
I like the woke brigade.
I like keyboard commandos. If we could come up with something like that, that's so dismissive and derogatory because they deserve it. Political perverts. That's John McGee.
That's CNN.
Yeah. Oh, she went there. Oh, she went there.
It's my job.
Oh no. Okay.
We had another one resign today. I think they're going to have Stetler running CNN, and that's it. He's going to be. That's it.
Please let that happen. Please let him run CNN because then it's a garbage network anyway that nobody listens to. Somebody said that Joe Rogan's audience is like 20 times bigger than all of CNN. It's amazing. I love that.
Right.
Lisa, to answer your question, no one digging into the legal. We just don't have time. Honestly, I don't have time.
I did today. Yeah, but Steph Lucas show. Sorry, I shouldn't promo that. Right. We're talking about CNN. Back to CNN. So we've got the pronoun mafia. We know how the media would have responded. There would have been op-eds for days from the usual suspects, but no. But they could do this to a Republican and a woman. Nobody says a word.
Nothing. Now, I will say that we did get some, I wouldn't say support, but we did get some fact checks from one reporter. I can't remember which one it was, but who was checking us on our interpretation of the rules. And he agrees with us that Senator Anthem was out of order and inappropriate. It was inappropriate of him to interrupt Senator Zito during her personal privilege. So there was that. But again, if this had happened to a female Democrat, you would have at least a front page story on every paper tomorrow. So, and you're not going to.
But you're not going to see that. But
nothing.
So, nothing from the media on this. So that begs the question, what does one do? Well, you may not be fortunate enough to have Kelly Anton or Mark Harris or Chuck Winder as your senators. That doesn't mean you can't call your senators and have a word with them and tell them to go have a word with these gentlemen about shutting down the people's business. And let's bring up this irony just in case you need a point. Yesterday, Mark Harris, in his press release, had the nerve to accuse Kristi Zito of trying to derail a bill. And yet today, they go and derail the people's business in the Senate because they don't want certain things that they wrote or said out on the public record. The irony.
Amazing. Amazing. It's unbelievable how terrible these people are.
They are.
Yeah, I almost want to say that Donald Trump called the press the enemy of the people. Well, the Senate's getting there, guys. They're getting there. So you need to contact your senator.
They shut it down. They shut it down because they didn't want to let a colleague speak. What does that say to her?
Well, and again, the point that I've always brought up is where's anybody else? Where's anybody else in her caucus? And why aren't they speaking up? And you know why it is, right? Do you know why?
I'm going to let you take a crack at it.
They are afraid of the governor.
Yes.
They're afraid of Chuck Winder.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of their bills not getting passed.
Right.
Because it's an election year. There are people who are so afraid of speaking out that they will never, they won't step out of line at all.
No.
Which,
So what are they there for? Aren't they there to represent their constituents, not to tell their constituents what's for their own good? They are there to represent their constituents. How did shutting down Christy Zitto today serve your constituents? Anton, Harris, how did it serve them? Did it serve your constituents?
well, and I want to say this again. I am committed to free speech. It's one of my, like, if I could tattoo on,
Well,
on
sure.
my heart, it'd be free speech would be there, and
Right.
then like chocolate cookies would, or chocolate chip cookies would be second, right? I think that, and this isn't necessarily a speech issue, but I think in the legislative halls, I mean, Scott Bedke actually said it himself. I want to say like 5 years ago when he first became speaker, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. He said something to the effect of, hey, we need this to be an arena of ideas, and all ideas need to come here. We need to have discussions about them and let the best ideas win, because that will
Right.
bring progress for the people of Idaho. What happened to that? Where did that go?
Special interests.
It really is. Honestly, like, again, I've been crossing the aisle a couple times tonight, but if a Democrat has a really good idea, I want to hear about it. I want to have that debate. And if I'm a lawmaker, I don't want to hide from a single vote. I want to talk about every idea that can make Idaho great or keep our greatness, because we're actually a really cool place.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, and how many of these people will go out on the stump in May asking for your vote and saying,
Mhm.
I am the brave, courageous conservative, and I defeat the liberals.
Yes.
And they're pounding their chest to get your vote. Ask them about this. Ask them about this. Because it's unbelievable that not another Republican senator stood with Christy Zitto today
Right.
or yesterday. And they've had
Right.
2 chances. They've had 2 chances. That's
Yeah.
two. I can
So
do.
it wasn't just the people that you named, Anton, Harris, Chuck Winder, allowing this to happen. It was all of the Republican senators and their overwhelming ayes to end the Senate for the day, because they don't want the mess that they created and the things that they said
Yep.
brought up again.
And I will say, I want to switch topics just ever so slightly.
Sure.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. We had a graphic made today. The Senate does not have a vote board in, actually on the Senate floor. It doesn't exist because they call the roll by name, or they call the roll to take votes. And so there's no Senate vote board. So you can't really see the votes on different pieces of legislation and how your senator voted. It's really annoying to me, quite frankly, because, I want to hold people accountable. So we had a graphic made, and I'll show this to you. I don't know how well this is going to go, but you can't read it, but it's on our Facebook page, right?
I saw this.
And it says it has the 8 names that went green for grocery tax repeal and the rest who went red. Now, there was a senator, one of my friends sent that to a sitting senator who may or may not sit in district. I'm not going to say, but this senator wanted this person to believe that vote was not about grocery tax. My guess is that some of you are going to call your senators and you're going to say, Senator, you voted against the grocery tax repeal and you didn't stand by Christy Zitto. What gives? And they're going to say that was not a grocery tax vote. It absolutely was. Do not let them buffalo you into thinking that was not a grocery tax vote. It absolutely was, because a courageous person takes every opportunity to do the right thing, and they didn't. Right. Don't let them fool you. I'm sorry. I'm very angry tonight.
No, we all are. Well, we as in our fam here that just, as Dustin swigs some more Monster, throws it behind him.
I'm too down and I'm out. So.
Sit down and let's bring this up about Senator Zitto. You know her really well. I've talked to her a couple times, and today was one of those. I don't think a whole lot gets her down, but and I don't think this will get her down. And I think she's going to keep fighting for her constituents. Certainly, she did that with trying to get an amendment to repeal the grocery tax on this wimpy income tax bill. She did what she was supposed to do. So I don't think this is going to get her down. And I want to end this, clearly on a positive note. But what has to happen in the positive note is that everyone has the right to call their state senator and say, why did you allow this to happen? and they'll try to derail you and say, "Oh, this didn't happen," and it did. You saw it with your own eyes, and no one's come to save Idaho but us, guys. So what you have to do is call your senator and let them know that doesn't fly with you.
Yeah.
And
hold them
that
accountable.
is the positive note.
Yeah, that's not so positive. You're not a very bright person, or I'm not bright as in intelligent, but you're like not a very sunny person. If that's your positive note.
The bright side is that we have the right to call them out on this.
Fair enough. And if you are so inspired, run for office. The filing period opens soon, in a couple weeks. Right. Run for office, because some of these people have been. I read today that Senator Jim Patrick is filing for re-election. He's terrible. I can't think of one good thing that he's done.
Good and terrible. That's a quote from Coming to America. That's just what I thought of. But let's talk about why is he good and terrible.
So he has been in there since 2006. 2006. This is his first. He's going to have a primary challenger in Glenita Zuderveld. This is his first primary challenge in 14 years or 16 years or whatever. 14 years. First one ever.
Good for someone for having the gumption to stand up.
Exactly. Some of these people go unchecked, and it feeds into their ego, and they believe that they are invincible and that they can act the way Kelly Anthon acted today.
Yes.
So if you're so inspired and you want to lose your soul, get into politics and I shouldn't have said that. Get into politics and challenge your senator, because some of these guys, or your representative, some of these guys have egos the size of, I don't know,
Kansas.
There we go.
I don't know. Give me an Idaho landmark here. That big potato outside Blackfoot.
Oh yeah, there we go.
An ego inside a big potato.
And they need to be held accountable. So
yeah,
that's our bright note. Can we talk about one more quick thing?
Yes, I'm ready to talk about this. I want to end this on a positive note.
Okay.
Get a hold of your senators.
You haven't seen this clip, and I want to give a trigger warning to everybody who is in the chat room watching who hates rap music, because we're going to play a short clip from a rap song, and Steph has not actually seen this clip.
I'm looking forward to it.
But I listened to this angry rapper named Tom McDonald. He's this guy. He's tatted up, and in the video,
you'd listen to a rapper named Tom.
He's Canadian, by the way. Canadians are saving the freedom movement at the moment, and we'll let Tom do that too. But here's a song he did earlier, and I'll tell you why we're getting into this particular song. So if you hate rap music, mute your computer right now. I'll explain this after we watch it. Let me pull this thing up. Hang on one second. I have challenges. Here we go.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go off, try and say this is it. But I swear to God, you can't cancel the kid.
That was intense. Oh my goodness, that was intense.
It's my first time hearing Tom McDonald. I'm so excited.
Tom McDonald. We're gonna. Have you ever seen those reaction videos? Have you ever done it or seen? So after a hit video comes out, you've got this like army of people, and they do reaction videos, which is actually kind of fun because you get to see other people interpret art in a way that you don't. Right. I love going like NF when NF puts out a rap video or that one liberal rapper. Anyway, Eminem, like you get to see, a black kid from Detroit or, some white mom from Kansas do reaction video. We're going to do some reaction videos. We're going to do that. That's going to be a thing.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Especially with Tom McDonald, because he raps about freedom. But today we received word from the Basque Center that we are not allowed or not going to hold our education choice event with Corey DeAngelis at the Basque Center in downtown Boise. Now, everyone says, oh, well, it's because you guys are radical left-wingers. No, I had a discussion with the Basque Center president today, and apparently they unearthed some threatening social media posts that threaten violence, disruption, and destruction surrounding our event. So they said, hey, we've got this beautiful building. It's historic. We don't want it damaged. We have to cancel our event in the name of public safety. And
are you kidding?
They absolutely have the right to do that. And I actually kind of support it because I don't want to bring harm to the Basque building, and I would never put them in that situation. So we said, you know what? Cool. We will find a different place to do it. But it's amazing. It's amazing. Do you remember the days, Steph? I don't know. Maybe you're not like this. I think you are. But do you remember the days when there was a speech? When there was a speech and you didn't like the speaker and you just ignored it?
Yeah.
You remember doing that?
It's not hard.
It's not hard. It's not hard. And so you've got this culture where if we don't like your idea, you have to be canceled.
Yeah.
And by the way,
one can hear you.
right wingers occasionally do this too. This isn't endemic to the
right
political
wingers
left.
do occasionally do this, don't
Yeah,
they?
I don't even know which brands I can buy anymore because we're boycotting all of them as right wingers. I get it. It's hard.
Well, we could find what we just been talking about for the last hour, but we'll.
Oh yeah, that too. I went over my head.
That's all right.
Yeah. Whoops.
It's okay. We'll talk about it another time. So, and yes, some right wingers do this. They will use their right to free speech to cancel someone else's. Essentially, that's what happens, right? So, make threats, that sort of thing, right? So, someone's trying to cancel.
So they tried to cancel us. And Tom McDonald's song is called Canceled. And he says, basically, you can't cancel me. You can't cancel me. And he's an independent artist. And there's no way you can cancel him because the brands aren't going to put pressure on the label because he's just not cancelable and he can't, whatever. Yeah. Our event is going to go on and it's going to be even better than I thought it was going to be for a couple of reasons. Number one, the facility that we moved to, Foothills Christian Church on State Street in Boise, it's actually in Garden City, but same thing, is bigger. It has better visuals. It has a better stage. It has a better AV setup. I am so thrilled, and more parking. The parking is great. I am actually thrilled that this happened because number one, it showed who these people really are.
Right.
The tolerant leftists are a bunch of intolerant crybabies who cannot take free expression and just let it happen. No, it is the most illiberal, inappropriate thing.
One thing, I listened to a lot of Rush Limbaugh back in the day. One thing he said for decades is the left. He said they're supposed to be tolerant left. He would say they are the meanest, nastiest people you're ever going to encounter. They are. And he drove that point home for at least the last decade. And they keep proving it over and over again. They keep proving the guy right. So clearly it's happened here.
It has. And they've been actually hijacking or trying to jack our ticketing system that we use through Eventbrite. I've canceled 25 or 30 orders from leftists who they come in and they order 10 tickets so that I have to go cancel it. Right. It's super annoying, but about 30 people have done that. Not a big deal, but it's, they write in their name and their email address. And I've been called some of the filthiest, most vile names in the name field because that's how somebody's going to see it. Right.
I can't wait till they start calling me names. It's going to be big fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Wait, just wait. So anyway, we did find a new venue. The event is going to happen. We are not going to be canceled. Our donors support us 100%. And we're not going anywhere. So Mike Satz, you big cry bully, try to cancel us.
That Twitter
I'm not
feed.
kidding you. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about this. If anybody needs the whole history of this, Twitter Monday night, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Dustin's just rapid firing off text like, okay, well, people keep donating. The more you keep saying, the more you keep trying to cancel us. Keep it up, Einstein. So I'm over here cracking up. And then I guess what this Mike Satz fellow is not aware of is that Corey DeAngelis has about 87,000 followers on Twitter.
Oh, it's ballistic, man. So good.
Mike Satz is no match for Corey DeAngelis and his followers on Twitter. He's not a match for Corey DeAngelis, much less his followers. So people start saying things, and then Dustin, well, basically, Corey DeAngelis and his followers handled it.
They took Mike Satz to school. It was fantastic, and they pointed out just all the hypocrisy.
He took a journalist to school as well.
Oh man, Harrison Berry, who apparently is a journalist and an employee for Boise State. So that comes as no surprise. Obviously, a Boise State employee is going to be triggered.
There's got to be some kind of name for that. Like once you beat all the woke bosses, he's like the final boss. Like, is there a video? Oh my gosh! Do you think the IFF could invest in video games? Like, you got to beat all these guys.
Yeah,
you know,
but
their pronouns are flying at you, and then all of a sudden, the
like
journalist that works for
Oh,
PS2,
yeah.
I get $1 million.
The tears. His weapon would be tears, like toxic tears coming down, and pronouns and toxic tears. Yeah, so it's just amazing. Harrison, he attacked us. So he said, it's amazing what they do, by the way, and you've all seen this. So they asked the question. I'm just asking the question. Okay, what was the question you were asking? Why is the Basque Center platforming such a hateful, anti-American racist group? I'm just asking the question. No, you're not. You're tagging them in hopes that they will cancel us. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
So Harrison, who by the way, says in his bio, I think he has his pronouns. So of course he's one of the pronoun people. He says that he's a debater. He says that he's here for the debate.
Oh.
He is so proud of his debate skills that he put it in his Twitter bio. And so what does he do when Corey and Michael Malice shine a light on his stupidity? He protects his tweets so you can't see them. So only his followers can see them.
What about the debate? What about the forum for debate about ideas with this debater who's a master at
don't go there.
Anyway, so sorry.
It's a little flimsy if you ask me.
Okay. But so he's got these amazing debate skills.
Yeah.
He's not going to use them. So he gets shut down. And this is all on Twitter. This is all documented. And yeah, Corey DeAngelis kind of shut the guy down. I guess he didn't know who he was dealing with. Again, there's a line about just don't go up with somebody with 87,000 Twitter followers with the, when there's a land war in Twitter, etc. Some kind of euphemism about that. So
yeah. So if you, so just to close up tonight, I know we've been here for an hour. Thank you for sticking with us through this, because this is
a lot to talk about.
It really, there's so much, and Friday is going to be great too. There's going to be more. We're going to start giving away some t-shirts, by the way. I meant to do that tonight, but we're going to give away more stuff. But if you're going to join us on Friday, or excuse me, on Monday for Corey's speech, Foothills Christian Church in Garden City. It's just off State Street, right by, it's just down the street from the Maverick. So we'd love to have you there. We're going to have, if you're a donor of ours, you get in at 6:30. We're going to have donuts or cookies or something like that. And then at 7, we're going to let everybody into the to the venue, and it's going to be great. And that they tried to cancel us, it makes it even better. We're going to do this because this is way more important than us. It's way more important than Mike Satz. Education choice and giving kids the future that they deserve is bigger than this little feud he has with us and this little beef he has with us. And Corey's going to deliver the message. If you can't be there, make sure that you tune in here on Facebook Live on Monday, or on YouTube if you're with us on YouTube. We're going to broadcast this to you so that you see what Corey has to say. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going to name names of people who are blocking school choice here in Idaho. And then we can take action and really put the spotlight on those who will not let the dollars follow the kids where they need to go.
Right. And so I think we'll talk about that a little bit more on Friday. Today, we had a lot to talk about with what happened in the Senate and just the travesty that whole debacle was. But I think on Friday, maybe we could get some tweets from Corey DeAngelis and just some clips. And what's the beef people have with him? He's just asking for school choice. He's just asking that the money follow the student. What is wrong with this?
Which by the way, the 97% they're saying, hey, IFF is racist, Dustin's racist. I'm sure they've said you're racist. Everything is racist unless you're a progressive communist, right?
Right.
But school choice actually helps minorities the most.
Yes, it does. I have a book about that, actually.
It's the weirdest thing.
I know.
But it breaks the stranglehold that the labor unions have on our schools.
Right. So they're just going to drag up these talking points from decades ago and just keep drumming those out because they have nothing else. So
Yep.
that's it in a nutshell.
It really is. It really is. It's frustrating, but we're not stopping. We're not going to be canceled. You're not going to stop us, Mike. Cry all you want. I've raised $17,000 off of you. 17,000. I'm about to send out another email, and I'm sure I'll raise 5,000 more tonight. So keep going. I'm buying Facebook ads as fast as I can. I'm doing it.
This is terrific.
Yeah, dude, keep going. I love this. I'm so happy that you have decided to make.
If we can design the video game, I think that'll bring in some more money. But we'll talk about it next time. The tiers, I think it's good. I think it's good. So
trigger toxic tears or something like that.
Trigger toxic tears. That's a good name for the video game. We'll keep working on it. It's a good idea. Well, Dustin, I think we're feeling better here. This is great. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Thanks for listening to Dustin's rant last night. I thought it was great. I loved it. I was just, go, Dustin! And thanks for joining us for The Senate is a Dumpster Fire Part 2. We could go on for a whole nother hour, but we're just trying to make this accessible and trying to explain Christy Zito and what happened today. And you're going to hear a lot of noise from other senators saying this is what she was doing. It was not. You saw it here. We explained it. You are armed with talking points, my friends. Let's go out and carry on as we do. Dustin, thanks so much. Thanks for joining Steph Lucas Live.